So, guys, here we are, MMA UK News. Obviously, myself, Stoomboy, as always. Normally doing the MMA UK BJJ show, but obviously we're talking about MMA today. So we're talking about Evolution of Combat 11. Evolution of Combat 11 is going to be Saturday, the 19th of February. Usual place, Maryhill Community Halls. Absolutely fantastic venue. Anybody that's never been there before, it's a very iconic venue, very, very close-knit venue. Everybody's on top of the cage, which is brilliant to see. It's going to be an awesome night of fights. As I say, we've got starting off with grappling, moving into a bit of Muay Thai, and then obviously finishing the night off with obviously some quality MMA fights that's going to be on the card. Now, tickets are sold out for this, guys, so I know that people keep messaging Dan Hope. Dan's got no tickets at all, guys, so stop messaging Dan. So he'll put posts up obviously over the next kind of week or so if there is any kind of pay-per-view and stuff like that. So he will make it known to people as we get closer to the event. So in regards to obviously my next guest, so Sean Clancy Jr. So Sean Clancy Jr. is coming at a higher level. Absolutely fantastic gym under obviously James Doolan. Sean's obviously now even though he's young, he's a Revolution of Combat veteran now. So this will be, I believe, his third time on the event. So obviously 2 wins on the last 2. So obviously looking forward to hopefully getting a third one on the 19th of February. He's going to be up against Reykjavik MMA's Aron Leo. So again, promises to be an absolutely fantastic fight between the two. So Sean, listen, absolute pleasure as always to speak to you, buddy.
Nice to speak to you too again. This is my 4th time in Evolution of Combat, but it's my 3rd time beating one of these guys.
Right. Okay, so four. But Evolution of Combat veteran. As I say, obviously being a young guy, you're a veteran already.
Yeah, I know. It's a wee bit weird to say that. I remember James was telling me that right before it. He was like, right, as soon as you win this fight, just go out and ask for that belt. So that's what I did. Definitely. You deserve it. I'd say some of the performances we've seen you, as I said, certainly Evolution of Combat. I'd say the last one, obviously against the guy again, Reykjavik MMA's Christoph something, I think his name was. As he come through a little bit, obviously you got a kind of flash knockdown at the start, but then after that, you just absolutely dominated the guy from then right through to the end of the fight. I think it was just that one of the things at the start, I just got a wee bit complacent, but I'm a lot better than him, so it showed. It showed as well. I mean, you kind of seem to be, rather than it being an actual knockdown, I mean, you were more off balance than anything else. Obviously, he caught you, and then you were just off balance, and that was it. And then, as soon as you, it was so weird because, like, as soon as I remember everything about it, it was to the left of me, and nothing was rocked. I can remember everything about it. It was a weird one.
Yeah. Well, listen, as I say, you came through. As I say, you got up and absolutely smashed the guy from then on. So, and I'd say it was very, very dominant. So, no worries in that fight whatsoever. And then, obviously, the one before that, you had the buggy choke. Obviously, the infamous buggy choke as well. So, which kind of went a bit viral as well.
I know. They were actually talking about it quite a lot recently in here. I don't know. I've had it a couple of times in since. Like I've. It's not something I've stopped going for, but not went for it as much. Still in the shed, still just as good at it.
Yeah.
Just working.
Definitely, and that's one thing.
Don't want to turn it into one of those things I just rely on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And definitely, that's one thing about you. I mean, you're dangerous from everywhere. You know, you get some of these guys that are maybe dangerous on the ground or they're dangerous stand-up, whereas you don't really care where it goes. As I say, you can submit them, you can knock them out, you can obviously win the decisions and stuff like that. So you pretty much got it everywhere.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really fortunate that way. That's just something like I haven't had anywhere start. Like I didn't start off boxing or like grappling or nothing like that. Whereas, like, most people you see are, like, they'll take a natural affinity towards something else rather than the other. But I've always done MMA, and I've always known that I want to be good at both things.
Yeah. And one thing is, 100%. I mean, you're definitely probably one of the top guys coming out of Scotland at the moment, which is brilliant. I mean, obviously, us being a small country, we don't usually have a lot to celebrate in other sports, but obviously MMA, we're fucking running the show, mate.
Doing well, doing very well.
Definitely doing well. And then obviously you're coming from a fighting family, obviously the Clancy family, and anytime your dad puts pictures up, it just seems like you guys are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I think Stephen's going to try and he's trying to get a fight very soon. I don't know what month or nothing like that. I don't know what show.
Yeah.
I know Stephen's going to try and get a fight soon. Logan's just coming back for like a wee niggle. But he's going to be showing how good he is very soon as well.
Yeah. And I know your dad's desperate to get on a card. I know your dad's desperate to get on a card with you guys as well. So obviously have a Clancy family fight card.
No, that would sell it. That would completely sell at a venue. I know for a fact that would. Like obviously, like it didn't even matter what venue you put us in. Like that would. I feel like we'd get hundreds of folk actually.
Yeah.
I've thought about it, but it's not one of those things I've thought in depth about. You know, like we'd get a lot of people up. I know that.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be quite fun.
I know your dad's thought in depth about it. Your dad's definitely thought in depth about it. So
it's one of those things. Like, my whole family could probably fill up the venue, so it wouldn't actually be that hard. Like, a big whole family.
Yeah. No, listen. Hopefully we see that. As in, I know your dad's wanting another run out, so hopefully we definitely see that. We'll get a Clancy card. That'd be an awesome thing to see. You get all the Clancys on it. Yeah.
I get when I'm
to combat then. So Evolution of Combat 11 next Saturday. So how did you find out then you were going to be on this card, Sean?
I can't remember, you know. I found out. Well, I didn't actually. I can't remember when I officially found out, but I remember that there was I remember Dan saying that there was a card, and like I can't remember when the other one was. Was it November? I remember he said that there was definitely going to be one in February.
Yeah.
So I just started training for that as soon as I found out that it was a card. Then so I've basically just been in fight camp since I found out. It wasn't very long after this fight I've been in training camp. Just been staying at the gym.
And that's one thing about you. Well, you're in the gym at the moment, so we see that in the background. So, but that's one thing about you as well. I mean, you're always training. You're always training. You're not training. You know, some fighters will. Yeah, you know, some fighters will maybe take a few weeks out after fights and stuff like that. But you and the family are all in the gym, all training together.
Always say I'm going to, but I'm not very good at not doing that. I've always done it. It's basic. I don't know. It's one of those things that I always say that, right, I'm going to take like this amount of time off, and then I'll sit in my gaff for a bit. I'm like, nah, can't do that.
Listen, one day you'll get some time off. Do you know what I mean? So, but no, listen, I saw you. As the first time I saw you, I'd watched videos of you. I'd seen videos of you. Obviously, a lot of videos of you going about. I know your dad posts a lot of stuff as well. So I'd always seen you. And then obviously, Evolution of Combat 9 was the first time I actually got to see you in person, live in person. Obviously, in the fight, and as I said it, and I remember saying to you after it, you didn't disappoint me, man. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, I knew you've got all this hype behind you, and the hype is real.
Aye, definitely, absolutely is. I'm just getting better as well. That's the most exciting part. There's never any like plateau or nothing like that. I'm just constantly getting better. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. That's what I love about you. And as you're willing to go in there and put on a show for the fans. As I said, you're always impressive. We talked about, I think we spoke the last time, and we talked about highlight reel finishes. And you seem to have highlight reel finishes in every single fight you're in.
All of them. Other than that last one, but I just done them in for 3 rounds, and I'm really glad that happened because it got me a lot more time in there. Do you know what I mean? It got me used to like spending a bit more time in there. But yeah, that last fight's about as close to a finish as you can get. If that kept going, I'd have died.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. 100%. He gave up, man, because he knew. I mean, I think he took the
a strange way. He did.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like the reason he never got put out of there earlier. Like obviously, if it was like pro or something like that, I'd have just elbowed the face off him. But like, it was one of those that like, it's really hard to finish somebody that's not trying to win anymore and is just trying to like survive. So he was just kept bringing his legs up, making it hard for me to hit him. Just kind of try to run the time down, I think. Because he would never try. He tried to advance a couple of times. You could see it at the start. He was like, and I know Dixon was giving him a hard time in the commentary for like, it was hilarious. Because to be fair, he was doing like really weird stuff, but at the start he was doing the right thing. I just shut it down completely. That's why it was quite hard to see it. But he was trying to shrimp out and stuff like that. It was just, I've got an amazing mount, so like he just couldn't get out. But that's about as close to a finish as you can get.
Yeah, I think he kind of knew. I mean, as he got to a point, and you kind of seen it in the fight. He got to a point where he knew he wasn't going to do anything. Do you know what I mean? Apart from that flash knockdown in the first, I mean, he wasn't going to do anything else. And I think he knew it. And then as soon as you know it, and you know yourself as a fighter, when you're in a fight, and if you get to a point in the fight or training or whatever, where you're like, shit, I can't do anything, it's a scary place to be. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, definitely. I can't imagine how he felt. I know he smiled and all that after the fight. We hugged and all that. I think he was just happy he survived.
Yeah. Now, that's an awesome performance as always. So, and then what about you then this year? So we're going to have obviously a full year, hopefully, of events coming up. So anything you've got planned, obviously Evolution of Combat's going to be your big thing. So that's your main focus. But anything, I know that James gets your fights and all that put in place. But anything you guys have got going on?
I think there's a show in May or March. I think it's May.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and get on that. I'm just going to try and stay as active as I can, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just try and get as many fights as I can. Even if I'm not matched for that May card, you know, but I'm just going to train for it. Like, I've got a fight, and then if they tell me like a day before the fight that I'm not getting a fight, I'll be like, right, cool, on the next one. Like last year I had umpteen fight camps.
Quite a bit, yeah.
I only had the one fight, but I had so many training camps that last year. So it's the main reason that I get better.
Yeah.
So I get so much better in between each fight. I'm just constantly in a training camp.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, I'm looking forward to this year for you. As I said, I know that last year was very frustrating. I think we were at Evolution of Combat 8, and I know you were supposed to be on it, and then obviously it fell through. Try to get you someone, couldn't get anybody. I think they were putting your picture out there, and everybody that looked at the picture was like, no, definitely not. So I know it was a frustrating year for you last year. So hopefully 2022. Yeah, it's part of the game. So hopefully 2022 is going to be an awesome year. Well, not hopefully. I know it's going to be. So, and then what about you then? Anybody you want to shout out to? So any kind of friends, family members, teammates, anything like that?
Well, all the boys in that up at higher level have been absolutely unreal. James for letting me stay. There's been a couple of new guys up at the gym. They've been class, just new bodies up at the gym and all that. Staying's unreal. My mum and like my dad, obviously, all my family members. You said if I think all my sponsors are going to be in the comments, because I know the last time I did this, I tried to shout out all my sponsors and I just missed one out and I ended up feeling terrible. So I'm just going to I'll leave that, and then I'll leave them in the comments or that. That would probably be easier. That way I can like sit and think about it.
But now, listen, we'll definitely get them on. I send them over.
So much. I love every single one of these. Honestly, like the whole reason that I'm able to sit and stay at a gym and just train full time is because of you guys. So these are loved unbelievably.
Yeah, no, that's a big shout out to the guys. We'll get obviously you send them over to me and we'll get them put out on the video, make sure everybody knows exactly who they are. And anybody that is not mentioned, you guys all know who you are. You all know who you are. So, well, it's an absolute pleasure to speak to you as always, Sean. As I said, always buzzing to see you. So I'm looking forward to seeing you next Saturday again.
I think I might be right.
Yes, well, that's the thing I love about you. I mean, I know that when you came out, obviously you're a bit down after the last fight because you were like, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. But I mean, everybody, even the crowd, I mean, your family and all that, they were all talking to me and they were like, "Yeah, what do you think of that?" Yeah. I think it was your dad and his pals and stuff like that, and they were all pulling me over because we did the interview and they were like, so. But nah, mate, you listen, everything you do, man, these guys absolutely love it. So. So, but there you go, guys. So we're going to have Sean Clancy Jr. higher level up against Aron Leo, Reykjavik MMA. That's going to be Saturday, 19th of February. That's Evolution of Combat 11, Maryhill Community Halls. No tickets available, guys. These tickets are all gone. So keep an eye out on Evolution of Combat. There might be some updates in regards to pay-per-views and stuff like that, if there is any available. All right. But listen, Sean, absolute pleasure again, as always, buddy.
Pleasure's mine, my man. Appreciate
it. Enjoy the rest of your training, all right? And I'll see you next Saturday, buddy.
Catch you, mate.
Bye-bye.